anyone who's born in the USA, anyone who holds a USA green card, anyone who holds a US citizenship, when you open your bank account in the UAE, FATCA requirements, the reporting requirements, where we notify the IRS of the transactions that are happening.
We as US citizens have to legally report our worldwide income.
Right.
Then what is the tax benefit?
Once you get your residency and you have your UAE pass, you can do absolutely everything. You can open a bank account. You can be overseas. You can transfer a property. Some free zones are considered free zones for taxation.
Oh.
Yes. So when we talk about tax, we're going to look at direct and indirect taxes.
You don't have to be here, but yet you're able to benefit from the tax benefit of setting up, as you said, a tax haven. With over 1,500 American companies that have already set up in the UAE and double-digit surge of American companies setting up their corporations and their businesses in Dubai, we wanted to answer why this is happening and how you can do the same. So today on the Dubai Connects, I'm going to have those answers for you. Stay tuned. Today, I would like to welcome back a prominent figure in corporate structure and international tax, an attorney who's been on a previous podcast, but has so many answers for you and with passion. I welcome Nadia and Amri to the show again.
Thank
and
you.
we're going to be doing a series, Nadia, because you are a wealth, a resource of information.
Thank you.
You know, I've been talking about investments and real estate now for a couple of years.
Right.
But what I'm having a lot of questions about is, okay, great, we get it. Invest in Dubai real estate. It's the best place right now to make money off your money. But we want bigger. We want more than that.
Of course.
We want to open up companies here, create corporations here, be a part of it, benefit from the tax situation. And I thought no one better than you. And so may you share a little bit about your background and who you are?
First of all, thank you for having me back.
My pleasure.
Hopefully we're going to make tax talk not boring. How I connected with you was actually through Instagram. So I was captivated by one of your reels. By chance, it had come up in my feed. So when I saw that you had created the series and this podcast about Dubai Connect, and I thought, what better way to bridge the gap between North Americans and what we have going on here in the UAE. So my background actually started out in finance and economics, started out in banking, private banking to be specific, and then, asset management comes that comes with, real estate, comes with, other alternative investment tools. So on the back of that, I ended up bridging out into taxation and then law. So once you bring corporate law into all of this, it's a one-stop shop. So we're here to make money. We're here to preserve your wealth. Make that generational wealth. Make sure you're paying the minimum taxes on that the right way. And the UAE is the best place to do that.
Actually, can you also share what was your role with the taxes here in the UAE, the whole incorporating taxes?
Okay, so back in 2017, I joined the Federal Tax Authority and we were part of the team. We did roadshows, we did a lot of seminars, we did a lot of public events where we would, assist the public to let them know what is coming, when it is coming. We were publishing guides and so many laws and so many updates on the laws, what was happening. And after a while, I felt like being on that side where, as a government employee, was great, but I also wanted to do a little bit more. So I branched out and I opened my own tax consulting firm, continued my studies as well simultaneously. And, now we're across 7 Emirates and international. So we have partner companies in Saudi Arabia. We have a partner company in the UK. So we're able to bridge that gap. So hopefully soon we'll be there in the USA with you.
Inshallah.
Yes.
So I love the fact that you have, of course, the economics and finance background, firsthand knowledge of the taxation situation, which is such a huge draw and hook for people from all over the world to, as individuals and as companies, to come set up here.
Right.
You've obviously, with your private banking, had the experience with ultra high net worth individuals.
Exactly.
And all this to say that you understand the pain points and you understand high net worth individuals' desires to minimize, make money, as you said, and
Preserve.
to preserve key.
Yes.
So I would like to really know from you on this episode what I want to be able to share with my audience that already understand the real estate, that they get it, but from a business setup.
Right.
Share how, let's say, an American or a Canadian can set up a business here. What are the different type of entities? What are the features and benefits of the each? What are free zones? If you could walk us through basically steps A through Z about how to create a business in the UAE and particularly in Dubai as a foreigner.
Okay. So you've actually got me on a topic that excites me.
Fantastic.
So it may be very boring for others, but it's great for me. Now, let's take a step back and look at why, and I will not keep it only based on Dubai because our tax laws are federal,
Okay.
but within that we have 7 separate Emirates. So let's look at the Emirates similarly to what you do in the US as states. So we have 7 Emirates in the UAE. Our capital actually is Abu Dhabi. While Dubai may be the business capital, the official capital is Abu Dhabi. Now, while we have federal tax laws, the Ministry of Economy has given each and every emirate its own authority to have its own Department of Economic Development. So while you have mainland companies that come under the incorporation of the economic department of that individual emirate, we also have free zones. Now the UAE has over 30 free zones now. Now each free zone has its own specialization. For example, some that may have free zones within airport free zones, some that may have free zones around the ports, some that may be industrial free zones, and some are that for like media, some are for IT, all having a different benefit or a different specialization for what type of businesses they're looking to attract and what benefits that they're offering for those type of businesses. Now, within the UAE, as I said, we have over 30 free zones. Now, some free zones are considered free zones for taxation.
Oh.
Yes. So when we talk about tax, we're going to look at direct and indirect taxes. So some are considered as VAT free zones, where VAT in certain situations, and I need to be very clear, disclaimer here, in certain situations, when you meet the requirements, when you're in that free zone and trading in a certain way, whether it's offshore or within the free zone, that is actually out of scope of VAT. So we consider that as not even part of the scope. There's no recording or reporting requirements for that. We just need to make sure that we are continuing the compliance requirements to show that it's out of scope. When we look at corporate tax, the free zones do also have some requirements to make sure that you are considering or be considered as a qualifying free zone person. Now, that is to make sure that we are not coming under the scope of having 9% on our profits at the end of that financial year.
Because that's new, right?
That is
9% new, which you'll have people that say, oh, the tax-free ride in Dubai is over. Now they're incorporating taxes. 9% compared to other countries and other...
other domiciles for taxation, 9% on corporate tax, or the first direct tax we have in the UAE is quite low, and that's great. But you can still use the UAE as a tax-free zone. Now, when I mentioned to you that there is something called a qualifying free zone person, the free zone setup is still very attractive in the UAE. Regardless whether you're industrial, regardless whether you are, in the e-commerce business, logistics, whatever it may be. Our firm could, guide you, advise you, look at which is the best setup, which is the best requirement. Now, a lot of companies incorporate their companies offshore, regardless whether it's, a BVI company or a Jersey company or, some type of offshore company as a tax haven. The UAE is so competitive on that front now and it's much cheaper as well. And we are globally much easier to reach. Geographically much easier to reach. Getting a flight to the Caribbean is not easy. It'll take you 2 days. We have the most logistically functional location. We have flights coming into Dubai from anywhere in the world.
In fact, the Dubai airport is going to be the largest in the entire world.
Physically and by number of travelers as well.
Exactly.
Yes. So that is one of the benefits. We have multiple free zones that are, allowing company incorporations to do things on a next level, global level. We offer very fast turnaround times as well. So opening your company or setting up a company in the UAE, whether it is a branch of a foreign entity, whether it's a brand new establishment, whether you're headquartering companies that are based all over the world, it is that simple and that easy and that fast to do. We have a very fast electronic government, and this is something that, across all 7 Emirates has been shown to be super fast, very clear. We have very simple reporting requirements as well, and we are a smart government.
So, I mean, I want to just take a second or moment to absorb everything that you just said, because I find it all fascinating.
Right.
You're absolutely correct that one of the major benefits is the ease of getting here.
Yep.
But even for those who don't travel here,
Right.
the fact that everything is digitized,
Correct.
even the banking system, that it's so simple to transfer and wire money. You don't find that to be the case in a lot of other countries, right?
You can even get your bank account open in a day. So once you become, so it's very important to note something. When I talked about or mentioned that we have electronic government, we have something that's amazing called UAE Pass. Once you get your residency and you have your UAE pass, you can do absolutely everything. You can open a bank account. You can be overseas. You can transfer a property. You can be online and have a meeting with a notary public, authorize someone to go and do whatever you need done. Everything is doable. You can be sitting on your phone, enjoying, a cocktail or something on an island somewhere while you're running your business that's based in the UAE.
And that is such a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Because it's not, you don't have to be here, but yet you're able to benefit from the workforce here, the workforce in this area, appealing to the whole Middle East, MENA region, even Asian region.
Correct.
And then really importantly, of course, the tax benefit of setting up, as you said, a tax haven. And this is the reason why you are seeing an exponential number of Fortune 500 companies
Correct.
setting up their headquarters here. And as you said, new companies coming and starting fresh here. And whether they have a division here, whether they just want a place and a foothold in the Middle East and Dubai or the UAE is where they choose to do it, or they're even moving, let's say from the UK, for example, their entire
Record numbers.
correct.
Yeah.
And so I love that you help strategize as a business which of the free zones make the most sense for a corporation.
100%.
Let's even simplify it a little bit more. So let's just say I'm in San Diego
Right.
and I have somebody that wants to open up a restaurant here.
Sure.
Okay. How simple is that?
First of all, we want them to book a flight, come over here and have a look at where they want to be.
Sure.
So we'd obviously look at feasibility studies, we'd look at all the numbers because numbers make sense. And business plan wise, we do all of the projections, all of these type of things. You find your location, you make an offer on that place. Once you have a preliminary offer, we add those numbers, we go for a preliminary approval. We get that trade license initial approval, you go and get your lease, your license is issued within a few days at max. So if the KYC requirements, all of these things is super simple. Your license, your residency visa and all of that coming on the back of becoming an investor here is so fast. We get your fit out done. Getting suppliers here in the UAE is absolutely one of the most easiest things. Everything is available at your fingertips. We have fresh produce coming in. We have cargo coming in through land, through air, through sea freight, everything you can think of. Supply chain management in the UAE is phenomenal.
And the trade routes are being
100%.
constantly opened up, new trade routes, right?
Correct.
For that
Correct.
reason. Is it true that you have to have a sponsor to be able to open up a business here?
Not correct. So it's actually been we're in 2025, so approximately 3 years where many of the approved business activities no longer need to have a local partner. So you can be a 100% owner of your own company. This is there for the majority of activities. There are some activities that for, obviously for safety reasons and whatnot, for security reasons, you still require to have an authorized local partner, at least to be the majority holder of at least 51% of those shares. And having that is a benefit for some, and for others it's a requirement that is, or not a requirement at all. So You do not need to have a local partner. There are some businesses or some activities that do require it. We're happy to share those lists. If anyone wants to have any more information on that, we can share that Emirates-wise. But, even when you're having, foreign entities that want to open up here, those foreign entities still own 100% shares of their companies here. So there's no issue on ownership there.
Another misconception. Can the government just close down my account and confiscate my money?
Why would they? What are you up to, Gigi?
They don't.
So, no.
But they don't.
No. Why would they, right?
Yeah.
We want to encourage business continuity. We want to grow our GDP. We want to encourage you to do business. We're not here to,
So, Nadia, I'm sure you're watching the news to see that there's instability going on in the United States right now.
Right.
And there are people that are making money that are scared about their money. And how do you find that to be affecting people here in Dubai or corporations here or Americans coming here?
We've definitely seen an influx of North Americans coming to the UAE. Given the political environment and the changes that have happened recently with the, election of Trump and whatnot, we have probably in the last 12 months, I personally have seen, especially from a client base, a big increase of U.S. citizens. Yeah. Not only because we have great weather, a lot of Canadians coming through as well. So a lot of skilled workers coming here. A lot of people who are in the IT sector, e-commerce businesses. A lot of people who are in, working in AI and all of these type of, let's call it the IT bubble.
Yes.
They're headquartering their businesses here in the UAE. Now, while they may not, the UAE as a number, or as a population, it may not be big. We're only reaching about 11 million at the moment, but that has had a massive growth in the last few years and will continue to grow. But the UAE's attraction is, one, lifestyle, security, government is very stable. We have very easy laws to set up your companies. Our taxation is very clear, very low impact. So a lot of companies a lot of people come to set up their companies here, to live here, but their actual work isn't here. Even you'll see a lot of these influencers, bloggers, TikTokers, all of these things. They're actually based out of the UAE. A lot of their content is created here, but their income is not sourced from here. So we have seen, the political environment in the USA impact the UAE in a positive way. 100%.
Yes.
The UAE is complying with FATCA requirements. We do all of those reporting.
So, please.
So FATCA requirements is a federal requirement by the ROS. It's something that is there linked with the International Monetary Fund, central banks, and obviously the UAE Federal Reserve. So when you open your bank account in the UAE, as part of your onboarding, as part of the KYC requirements, and as part of the due diligence, anyone who's born in the USA, even if you're not a tax resident in the USA, anyone who holds a USA green card, anyone who holds a US citizenship, we must go through the reporting requirements where we notify the IRS, or the banking system here automatically notifies the IRS of the transactions that are happening. So that's from a banking perspective, but there's also W-9 reporting. So, Mr. Uncle Sam, we speak about him again. He knows what's happening and he is watching. And obviously that differs from individuals to different type of companies, to whatever, income you have all over the world. Your US tax attorney or your US chartered accountants will be able to guide you a best way to strategize that. But there is a very clear reporting requirement between the UAE and the USA, but that is for your benefit.
So then, if there's the requirement to report, and if we as U.S. citizens have to legally report our worldwide income, then what is the tax benefit or savings for setting up a business here? Not obviously the growth and making money we know now, you're touching a whole other part of the world.
Correct.
But what is the tax saving specifically? And does it matter on how you engineer and structure your business with regards to what type of corporation?
100%. So obviously, we want to move away from the sole proprietorships. We always look at LLC companies. We also look at holdings companies once you're on a bigger level, having obviously the correct amount of assets and whatnot. But we also have something called tax residency. So you can also apply for a tax residency. So that minimizes your exposure offshore. So once you become a qualifying tax resident in the UAE, it's actually going to give you more let's say, levies
Okay.
back home.
Okay.
So you now become a UAE tax resident.
Okay.
You're more liable to pay UAE taxes. Again, you're only paying 9% on profits.
Corporate. Yeah. Well, with that, I feel that that whole topic of taxes, and especially with the position you hold and your expertise,
Right.
deserves its own episode.
Coming up
so,
next.
coming up next.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for coming on. I know that I will have probably more questions. We'll continue to meet and be able to answer those questions as they come up. But, you see the record numbers. You see what's happening. You see very big American companies announcing that they're coming
Very
here.
big.
Huge names, the biggest names. I won't even talk about it, the political players and how much they believe in the UAE, because you can see that all over the news as well.
Great political ties.
Right? So I want to thank you, because this is exactly what I'm trying to do, is provide as much information to my viewers and listeners so that they can capitalize on the opportunities, not just for real estate, but for business as a whole here in the city of the future.
We're waiting for your inquiries. So questions related or indirect, ready here to answer them all for you.
Thank you, Nadia.
My pleasure.
I hope you were able to gather some relevant information for yourself on this episode. Please make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and stay tuned for the next topic we're going to hit up, which is, of course, taxes.